Welcome back to Mental Toughness Secrets of Champions. Before the break, I started telling you about my former business partner, Bill Gove. So here's the story. About 10 years ago, Bill and I were speaking to a group of 7,000 salespeople in Kansas City. I was really nervous because my average audience was about 30 people. Of course, Bill had spoken in every major venue in the world over the past 50 years, including Carnegie Hall and Madison Square Garden. We had planned it that Bill would go on stage first and then bring me on 12 minutes later. So I'm pacing back and forth backstage like a madman, scared to death. Mental toughness, forget about it. I was terrified. So I said to Bill, I'm really nervous. Do you have any last-minute advice for me? And right at that moment, the stage manager yelled down, 10 seconds, Mr. Gove, 10 seconds. So Bill said, yeah, I do, kid. I want you to look out at that crowd. So I looked out. He said, it's packed, isn't it? Now, here's what I want you to remember, Steve, and think about it for the next 12 minutes. Are you listening? Here it is. If you were ever going to screw up a speech, tonight would not be the night to do it. And he ran off stage laughing. I said, thanks, Bill. Thanks a lot. Okay, so let's look at what Bill Gove did in this example. With only a few seconds to change what this event meant to me, Bill knew he didn't have time to really coach me through it. So instead, he made me laugh and lighten up. He altered my perception of the event, which reduced the pressure I was feeling and enabled me to deliver my speech to the best of my ability. This is how the brain works, and once you understand it, your potential is limitless. Learning to control and manipulate your own emotions is what mental toughness is all about. Imagine this. Imagine that Arnold Schwarzenegger, Oprah Winfrey, and Lance Armstrong got into your business. Here's the question. How many people would bet against any one of these three individuals going to the top? How about Hillary Clinton? Richard Branson? There's an old saying in performance, and you've probably heard it. It goes like this. A bet against a champion is a bad bet. So what is it? What allows these people to go from one success to another no matter what they do? Arnold Schwarzenegger is a perfect example. Here's a kid who grows up in a poor family in Austria, right? And decides one day, I am going to be bodybuilding champion of the world. And then he does it. Next he decides, I'm going to Hollywood to be movie action hero. And then he does it. And then unbelievably, he decides a couple of years later, I am going to be governor of California. He can't even spell it. I mean, I don't know how you felt about this, but I laughed. He was running against little Gary Coleman from Different Strokes, you know, what's up, Willis? And he wins. If they ever decide to amend the Constitution, he may end up being president. Don't bet against him. It's a bad bet. So what is it that separates champions from everyone else? I've spent the last 23 years of my life trying to answer that question. And here's what I've discovered. It's not intelligence. It's not education. It's not birthright. It's simply how they think. And over the years, we've come to label this kind of thinking mental toughness. You could probably call it anything, but we call it mental toughness because I think it most accurately describes how these people think. In the beginning, I thought only certain people were born with world-class mental toughness, and I wasn't one of them. I had grown up on the national junior tennis circuit and had some success as a junior tennis player, but by the time I got to the pros, I couldn't seem to win. I still hold a world record to this day, in fact. Lowest amount of prize money ever won by a professional tennis player. My mom is so proud. The problem was that one day I'd be playing great, and the next day I'm losing to some guy from Iceland who never held a racket before. Not good. I couldn't seem to recapture my level of mental toughness, and it cost me my dream of being a top 10 player. So I became obsessed with uncovering the mystery of mental toughness and finding out how to develop it. I uncovered the mystery of mental toughness. Now it's your turn. On the other side of the break, find out how your way of thinking may be holding you back from the things you really want. I'll crack the code on mental toughness and show you how to step up your game and get world-class results.